welcome to Let's Talk Spoop. It's been a bit. For those of you who may be wondering why I haven't done a live update in a while, there just hasn't really been that much horror movie news out and about recently, so I haven't really felt like doing it. I've also been playing Hogwarts Legacy, so I haven't really felt like I've had the time to record and watch horror movies because Hogwarts. But yeah, that's beside the point. So today on Let's Talk Spoop, we're bringing you the video that I promised forever and a half ago. On Screambox, which is a Bollywood remake of the original Scream. I'm actually really excited to talk about this. I was really excited to watch it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into As per usual, we'll break things down into 6 separate categories. Man, it feels like I haven't recorded one of these in a long time. 6 separate categories. The 6 separate categories are story, acting, music, atmosphere, look, and finally, creep. So how does the story go? Well, it opens up with a landscape, cityscape, and then a lady, that lady right there actually, playing squash. She gets a pep talk about fear, and then she gets threatened, and then the guy who she thought was giving her the pep talk about fear gets murdered, which we just saw right there in the trailer at the beginning there. She ignores the entire pep talk about fear and then proceeds to get herself murdered. We get some opening credits done with the classic Bollywood style of dancing and knife wielding. And then we fast forward to 6 months later. So Mahik, that is our main character, is the sister of the victim from the opening, and she is she's dealing with some stuff. So she is shopping. So she's shopping. She runs into a cop. The cop is apparently her uncle. That warns her that the killer will probably be back to kill again. And then while she's standing at the teller, she gets a phone call to taunt her. And then she turns and looks, and there's this mysterious man standing next to a payphone. And she's like, "You?" And he's like, "Me?" And she's like, "You?" And she runs away in fear. And then it turns out that he's just like a normal dude. And then we get some character introductions for a bunch of names of character who I could not pronounce at all. There's Rocky, who is in love with Mehk, and Sunaj is the guy that she met at the store. He seems to be like the male lead, essentially. Suraj, Suraj. I write in cursive, sometimes it throws me off. He is being a hot dude, and therefore not making the phone call. And then people around her start getting murdered, and then they think that that the killer is killed, but he isn't, and then they decide to throw a party. And then they go to Thailand to party, and while they're in Thailand, they get kicked out of the hotel that they're staying in, and then they go to an island that's completely isolated from everything. You can only get to by boat that you have to schedule ahead of time, and it's like, oh, this is going to work out well. So yeah, predictable. Obviously, it is a remake of Scream, but they did some original things with it that made it good. There is one character who talks about horror movies frequently throughout it, but it's not nearly as like centered on the meta commentary of like horror movies and stuff like that. So it's predictable. I knew for the most part who the killer was fairly early on, as did my wife, but it was enjoyable. So 4 out of 5 for story. Acting, at a 3 out of 5. As per usual, when I watch a foreign film, it's really hard for me to judge the acting unless it's really bad. But I was pretty engaged, even though I couldn't understand what they were saying. So 3 out of 5 for acting. Music. This movie has the Bollywood song and dance multiple times. It's got pretty good music. It gets you. The music helps to keep you engaged. 3.5 out of 5 for music. Atmosphere. As previously stated, this movie was engaging. This movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes long, but it didn't feel like it was that long. It didn't feel like they unnecessarily elongated it like some other movies I've seen. So I enjoyed the atmosphere. 3.5 out of 5. Look, practical effects, which were not really the best, but not horrible. So 2.5 out of 5 for look. And then finally, creep. We have seen the killer multiple times in this trailer. He does not look scary. There are not very many jump scares. There's not very much, for me, fear in this movie. So Creep gets a 1 out of 5, which gives us a grand total of 2.9 out of 5 skulls for Shssshhh on Screenbox. Okay, thanks, bye.